Orsett Heath Academy is a 9-form entry secondary school, so we will ultimately accommodate 1,200 children. We've had a pretty difficult experience before McAvoy were involved in our project. Various things occurred pre-McAvoy, which made it a very challenging project for them to come into. So, previous contractor had gone into administration. We'd had an awful lot of challenges associated with COVID, and so the project was quite significantly delayed. And from the point at which McAvoy joined, that situation changed dramatically. So we went from frankly, something of an ordeal to an experience that was pretty seamless. One of the things I was most pleased with was that McAvoy understood the project immediately. They really had the context of what had happened and were efficient in every regard, really. The communication was superb and thoroughly enjoyed working with them. Nothing was too big a problem for them to talk to us about, and they kept us very much involved all the way through. And I think probably for most schools where you're dealing with a large contractor, it can feel that you are quite removed as a client, but it very much felt to us that we were completely involved right from the word go, and the communication, the dialogue was excellent.
So we were in tight communication with the client, and they were more than accommodating. Anything we needed, they were just at the end of the phone, so it made the job a lot easier. It's been a great benefit to use modular construction for this project because it cuts down a lot of the time on site. There's a lot less disruption in the local area, so a lot of the construction is already finished. At the time when you're doing the construction works, it would be apparent that it is a modular building, but after you do the finishing works, like the facade and the brickwork and the cladding, then it just looks like any other building.
There's no compromise, and I think that's the thing I would really stress about the modular, because I think sometimes people might imagine that modular construction means that there are compromises in the design or compromises in the spaces that are there at the end. And as you know, walking around this building, you will see the double height spaces in the eating area. And at no point in the process did I have to say, oh well, we'll do it differently then and we'll accept an inferior scenario. It was almost the opposite. Sometimes the flexibility that was offered allowed design elements that we wouldn't have thought possible to be possible as a consequence of that modular construction. We've been involved in many construction projects across our different schools over the years, and normally the challenges end up being to do with the building. We encounter very few of those, and I think because most of those have been designed out. To put into context, you could count on literally 2 hands, and we're talking about a school building for 1,200 children, the number of defects that needed to be resolved in the first few weeks, and they were done almost instantly. They were very small things, and there's always challenges in a building when it's being commissioned. Of course there are. I've always felt like everyone involved in the team has been very cognizant of the end user, those young people that are downstairs now enjoying the building.
It's hard to believe sometimes that it's the same building, but there's a lot of happiness comes out of seeing the children moving into the school and enjoying it.
Watching the youngsters come in on the first morning when we opened the doors and watching their faces for colleagues from McAvoy and from our team, it was a real delight. If we have future projects, I would certainly hope that McAvoy would be a contractor that would be interested in working out with us, and we certainly would with them, because in contrast to pretty much all the different projects we've been involved with in our trust over the last 20 years, this has been the most straightforward from the point of their involvement to the point of children taking occupation and using the building. So a resounding yes, without any doubt, I would work with them again.